Hello everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video we will be talking about encapsulation in object-oriented programming. So talking about encapsulation, basically it is a security feature which is implemented in object-oriented paradigm or object-oriented programming. So we can achieve security. We have already talked about this security concern by using abstract classes or abstract methods. So we have already discussed about this in details, and secondly we also have discussed about interfaces. Now today we will be talking about one more way in which we can achieve security, and that is encapsulation. So as interfaces, as we talked about interfaces, so it was involved in detail hiding. Here in encapsulation we will talk about basically data hiding. Okay, so data here again, it means that they are variables. So if we have to formally describe what encapsulation is, so we can say that encapsulation is basically a mechanism of wrapping the data and variables and code acting on the data, which is methods, together in a single unit. So I will write this also in after some time, but first we have to understand that we are trying to wrap the data as well as data which we are represented in variables, okay, as well as we are trying to also wrap the code which is acting on this data. That means the methods, okay. So methods in a single unit. So this one is a single unit, and this entire mechanism is known as encapsulation. Like we see small capsules which have medicines, right? So they are a real life example of encapsulation. So everything is within this small capsule. Similarly, if I'm considering a car, so this car in a single unit, everything is basically encapsulated within this unit. It has engine, it has various other things associated with it, so everything is encapsulated within this single unit. Similarly, for this medicine also, the same concept is applied using Java in object oriented programming, where the data as well as the methods, that means the code which is acting on this data, is basically encapsulated within a single unit or within a unit. So if I am supposed to formally define encapsulation in Java, so we can write it down as encapsulation in Java is basically a mechanism by which mechanism of wrapping data. Now data, by data we mean that the variables, because we work with variables in order to store the data, so we will directly address the data as variables here, and the code acting on the data. So what is the code which is acting on the data? That means we will be using a block of code which will be using these variables. So that block of code is basically a method, okay. So variables and methods together as a single unit, So this is very important because it will enhance the security of a particular program, and it will stop the outside users or hackers in order to access these methods or access these variables in an unethical manner, okay. That means if a data is encapsulated, data and method is encapsulated, it will be accessed only within that same unit. No outside unit can access these data or these methods, okay. So if we are talking about encapsulation, encapsulation is achieved in two ways. So can be achieved in two ways. So what are they? Or achieved in the following steps. Not two ways, basically using two steps. So the first step is we have to declare the variables of a class as private. So the first step is to declare the variables of a class as private. So if we are using a class and we want to use these variables, or we want to associate security to these variables, we have to declare them as private, and then we have to use two public methods. Okay, so provide public setter. So these are public methods in order to modify the data, modify the variable. Okay, and getter method. Getter is basically to read the modified data. Getter methods to modify and view the variables. View the variables. So by setter method we will be modifying the variables, and by getter method we will be viewing the variables. Now if we are confused about this, so we will just look at it with an example, a small example. So let us consider a class student. Okay, so we consider a class student, and within this I will declare the variable which is student id as private. So private int student id. So as soon as I am doing this, I am automatically associating data hiding here, which means that this particular student id variable is private to this class employee, and it can be accessed only by the member methods of this particular class, and it cannot be accessed by any other methods outside the class. So in encapsulation, the variables of the class will be hidden from other classes and can be accessed only through methods of their current class. So if I'm having certain methods here, only these methods will be able to access this instance variable. Otherwise the other methods which are out of this class will not be able to do it. So this is what is known as data hiding. Now as already mentioned, this was the first step, this is the first step which said that I have to declare the variables or data as private. Okay, the next is I have to associate two public methods, which is setter and getter, in order to modify it and read it. Okay, so modify and read it. So the next one is I will be introducing the setter method. So let me, and these two are public methods. Okay, public void set student. Okay, so this is the setter method, and here what I will set is set, let's say I am using student id. So this will be the instance variable. Okay, so this will basically be the instance, will be setting the instance variable, and within this, let's say I am using student id is equal to student id. Okay, so this is pretty simple. So what I'll do is or what I can do is I can simply use a different variable here, because otherwise if I'm using the same variable I have to use this in front of this keyword in front of this. So I will use simply student here, and then the value of this particular argument will actually be stored in the current instance variable. Okay, so this is how the setter method works. Okay, so I'll close this. Now I will introduce the getter method, which is another public method. Okay, public int get student. So this is the getter method, and this method is used to view it. So this entire method, I'll come to it. So since the student id will be basically integer, so it will return an integer type, so I will be returning student here. Okay, so when I'm doing this, essentially this particular student id, initially it is captured by this argument and it is set in this particular instance variable, and finally this student id would be returned, or student id would be printed. Okay, sorry, this is student id, the instance variable student id, because here the variable is getting printed. All right, so after this you can consider the main method, and from the main method we can create any object and of the class student, or of the class whatever class you have used here, and then you can easily call this method by passing the arguments into this particular method, or values into this particular method, and viewing these values here. Okay, so this entire thing, now when you look into this, first of all we talked about data hiding. That means I declared the variable as private, and the second step is I introduced a public method, setter method and getter method. Okay, set method and get method. So this is basically, this method will be modifying the instance variable. Now when we are talking about modifying the instance variable, it does not mean that it will modify the original instance variable. It will just be able to modify the variable which is there in that particular class. Okay, and the second one is to view the data. Okay, or view the, let's say view the value which is passed, view the value which is passed. So this entire thing, this is basically an encapsulated, it is an encapsulation done with the data and the method. So the data is student id and the methods are here, through which we can access the different values which are placed in the student id. Okay, now if we are considering, let me write down the main method somewhere here. Okay, so if I am having another class, so let's say class test, and within here I have public static void main and string arguments, and then suppose I have to now call any of this method. So what is the first step that I should do? I should create a type of student. That means I should create an object, let's say s. Okay, new student, and then use this particular object in order to call the set student and pass the value here. Okay, let's say 0 1, pass the value here. So what will happen here is, now this particular method would be called and it will be captured here, and after this, this will be this particular value which will have now 0 1, it will be stored in student id. After that, if we want to view this, we have to call the other method using the same object, which is get student. Okay, and when I'm using this get student, then you have to simply, this particular method would be called. Okay, then public int get student, and it will return the student id. However, since there is no display method here, we have to introduce the display also. So you can simply write down system.out.println here, or here also you can use this particular statement. So we will see this with a small program also, but we have to understand that since we are hiding the data from the other classes, so that is why it will not, this particular variable will not be exposed, or not be, we will not be able to access this variable from other classes. Okay, since this is a private method. And if we want to access this particular variable from the same class, we have to introduce the setter and getter methods for updating and accessing it. So this way data can only be accessed by public methods and will make the private fields and their implementation hidden from outside classes, and that is why it is also known as data hiding. Okay, so we will see this with a small program as well. So before that, first we have to discuss about the advantages of encapsulation, right? So advantages of encapsulation, it has, the first one is it will maintain the, or the maintenance is easier, and reusability is also present. Okay, is also done here. So we will also see this, that how we can reuse the same block of code again and again. Okay, number 2 is the fields can be made read only or write only. For example, if we have a field that we don't want to be changed, so we simply define that variable as private instead of set and get both, we just need to define the get method for that particular variable. Since the set method is not present, so there is no way the outside class can modify that value of that field. Okay, so if you can see this example, so if I do not want this particular variable to be modified, I will not write this method at all. Okay, so in that case I will simply be able to read this particular value of the variable. I will never be able to modify it. Okay, or no other class can ever be able to update or modify it. Okay, so this is how basically even if hackers get access to your program, if it is not an authorized user, or it is not capable of creating an object of that particular class in order to invoke these two methods. Okay, so at that point of time it will never be able to modify this particular variable. If we do not use the setter method, it can just read the variable. So in that case we can easily hide it. Okay, so the fields essentially here means the variables. The fields can be made as read only or write only. So this is another advantage. And the third one is user will not be able to know, user would not know what is going on behind the scene. Okay, so what is going on in the back end. So these are the three advantages basically, and it all of them points to just one thing, which is it hides the data. Okay, so we will never be able to work with the data which is mentioned as private, and this entire mechanism is known as data hiding. So we have seen how we can introduce security by using encapsulation, and it is one of the most useful technique or mechanism used when it comes to security associated with object oriented programming. Okay, so that is all for this video. We will again look into the practical implication of it in my next video. Thank you.